Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Brian, along with my co-host, Brett.
What's going on, guys?
We're here to talk the second episode of The Golden Bachelor. Tonight, it's definitely interesting with this show, Brett. I know we were talking a little pre-show. We kind of have varying excitement levels of this new series. I really enjoy it. I like this a lot because I think it's like a different pace of the main series of The Bachelor and Bachelorette. I feel like everybody who's there wants to be there and is actually looking for something. So I kind of find that genuine and like kind of can start getting invested in like into the characters. But I do want to hear your side, like where you're kind of like you like it, but you're not like in love with it as much as Bill and I.
Yeah, I'm definitely not in love with it. I mean, I like it is a different spin on the show, and it's good. It's like it's a more wholesome show. There's not as much drama and chaos, which
Yeah,
are things that I like in a show. Like Paradise has a lot more of that for me.
right.
These other shows. So I did get a little bit bored. Much like I'm sure Gerry, I probably need to pop a Viagra to get excited. So and to get excited for
They,
the show. But
I thought his name was Jerry. They kept calling him Gary today. Did you notice that? They they were saying Gary a couple times, and I'm like, Bill and I were calling him Jerry last week. We'll have to see
I have no idea now.
how
Actually,
episode three goes. I thought they were gonna do like, oh, they're all calling the wrong name. Like I was waiting for that bit, but apparently it's Gary, and we've been wrong. So Jerry is now Gary. So
don't
yeah,
remember either way what it was.
and to respond to what you said about like where there's not a lot of drama, like I get that, and like I know this franchise like usually like likes to create situations for drama, but I do like when people are actually making connections. Like there will be drama, I think, coming up when these people like as the women start going home and they like are starting to fall in love with each other. I just like that people aren't. It just I don't think they're being fake, and that's why I kind of like the I can deal with a couple of weeks of building some connections because I feel like when he does because like in I mean the best point that I can say is like when he's sending people home at the rose ceremony, he's legit sad. And like
He's wholesome.
yeah, and like Jesse's like, are you okay? And he's like, it's just really hard. And I was like, if I was in that situation, I wouldn't want to send people home. Like if you're connecting with a bunch of people, like obviously it's so early in the show where you have like 12 people left, but when it starts getting, I'm this guy might cry, like he might bawl his eyes out when it's like the final four. So that could be good TV. Like you're kind of feeling for him because you're like you see him making these connections, and you're like, damn, what is he gonna do? Like right now, it's definitely a little like you don't know, but
He's got strong friend vibes for sure with everybody. They're all just, very cordial and everything. So,
that's
and
what
he's
old people do. Like I don't think they're not gonna like not they're not gonna be like, damn, I want to have sex with you. Like he's built like the relationship they're gonna build is like more of like I want to spend time with this person. Like they're not having sex. Like they're going to probably have sex, but they're not gonna be like having as much sex as young people are. So
fantasy
that's why I
suites would be
kind of like these connections. Like they're learning about each other. They're bonding over like their spouse is dying, and like that's like I saw that on Twitter tonight. Like that's gonna be a major factor on like how he's connecting with people.
speaking.
Um, yeah.
That's the question I was thinking and having. Are there any divorced women on this show, or are they all widows? Or
I don't know. That's a good point. That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure. Um, the
that'd be a lot
people that we've
better.
highlighted, I don't think are like the people that we see a lot of or see in the confessionals. I don't think they're divorced. Sounds like a lot of them have like their husband or they're all widows. But I mean, maybe as we go forward and we learn a little bit more about the people that we haven't learned about, there is a possibility that some of them could have been divorced.
Yeah.
So, all right, before we dive into the episode, I actually did see on Twitter that Marina we didn't see her at all this episode. And when I was doing the checks of who got eliminated, because they don't tell you who's eliminated, you kind of have to go off a list of last week. Marina's name came up, and I saw that she had a family emergency, so she must have left the show, so we didn't get to see her. So hopefully everything is okay there. Sad to see that we didn't get to see more of her, but I hope she's doing okay. But just want to say that before when I read off the list later, you're like, why'd you not talk about her at all? So she is off the show. So the ladies arrive to the mansion and they are talking. I will say that I like about this, Brett, is they make the jokes about like, I need to be closer to the bathroom. I wake up a bunch of times in the middle of the night. So they're like bunk beds. They're talking about how like they haven't had to sleep or share a room with somebody in a long time. It's going to be interesting how if they butt heads. I really don't think they're going to butt heads, but I do enjoy the little humor they do have sometimes where they hand out the date card. They're like, "What is that? I don't even know what that is." Remember when they hand out the first 101 and Jesse's like, "Oh, is this something you need to open? I'm not reading it to you. You need to figure it out."
Yeah, they don't watch the show. Come on now.
I'm sure some of them do. I'm sure some of them don't.
And
But
then
that's
their age all over the world watch The Bachelor. They've like The Bachelor's been on for 20 years or something.
yeah.
I'm
Maybe they just
surprised.
like they're deer in headlights when they're there. They're like, damn, I don't even remember. Or
Or
they're
we might
just
have just been the one person that didn't
right.
know it. So
So the date card we're talking about, the first date card comes. It is a one-on-one, and it goes to Teresa. And I had a little bit of an issue with this date. Why I don't know why they put Gerry into a car, an old person into a car that doesn't have headlights on a road that's busy that he's never driven on. I just thought that was completely unsafe.
yeah, I didn't know what was going on. I tried to were the headlights actually off? Because it looked like they
Yeah,
might
he
have been
said
off.
the headlights weren't working.
I know what he said, but were they off? Because when they showed the car driving, I could have sworn I saw headlights
I
to some extent.
I agree. Some of them there were like when they got into this like the city, like when they got off the exit, the lights were working. I wonder if they fixed it. But like, why is he driving? Why do they why I know they want to like make it look cool, but like I don't know, man. I just think that I would have had them like an S like an actual driver driving them. They're both sitting in the back seat, kind of enjoying themselves. Like Teresa said she was scared.
I mean that I thought that was funny in the episode. But like I was like, Jerry's out here driving like an old man, living up to the
Yeah,
hype.
right.
Can't
It was
see,
funny, but it was also at
driving
the same time like
slow.
worrisome.
People are honking at him. They're
Yeah,
both scared. I thought it
right.
was funny. But
It was a very real life situation
he's like,
for
I've never driven in LA before. I don't know what I'm doing. But
he's
bro, like you've driven before, right? Come on.
he's got a hard 10 and 2 on the wheel.
Yeah.
Um
They probably didn't think like, oh, old people have a harder time driving because they always have car dates on the normal
I
series.
know. That's just something I thought they would know. Like I when I've driven with my grandmother before, it's always an experience.
Mhm.
So
The fact that the car
so
was broken is the biggest thing. Like if that's true, like why?
yeah, like why are you not checking the headlights? Like also
Why
they
is
could have got
production not
I was
checking them?
expecting them to honestly get pulled over. Like if they got pulled over, that would have been a funny interaction. Like, I'm just here on a date with Teresa that I met 2 days ago. Like a fake planted cop or something like that. So they're both kind of having a rough time on the road. Teresa puts her arm on his shoulder. They make a big deal out of it. He said that he really appreciated it, and they kind of bond over that. They go to a diner and they order milkshakes and fries. I would have ordered probably a cheeseburger. And then there's like a flash mob. So like I thought they were actually going to like a legit diner, and then here again it's just like a completely fixed date. They do a flash mob. They're making out. He gives her the rose. I thought it went pretty well. They bonded
Don't
over.
stop believing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
yeah.
They
I like that he kind of like the
didn't have a
reason that
seizure.
huh?
They didn't have a seizure due to flashing lights.
Right.
So that's
Um, he said that he used to work. He has a restaurant owner. Like he started doing this. This was his first job as like kind of working at like something like a diner. So I kind of like that backstory of why he chose that date. I'm assuming he chose the date or he like gave ideas and they thought of it. I didn't love the flash mob, but I thought I kind of like their connection. We'll have to see. I mean, like the thing one thing about these hour-long episodes is kind of like everything's super condensed. You know, there's going to be there's 2 dates. There's going to be the rose ceremony, so there's not a lot of filler in between.
I would
But
not be surprised to see her in the final four
yeah,
for sure.
no, I agree. I think they had a nice connection, but I do want to see him on another one-on-one date to see like actually how is he going to be connecting with everyone type of thing, or like was this like an actual like this connection's above the rest? I need to see a few episodes to make before I make that decision.
He looks frisky. He's already trying to make out with
Yeah,
some, so
yeah, he
probably.
is. We have the group date, and the premise of this one is it's a photo shoot. They love these photo shoot ones. They have to recreate romance novels covers. So that's kind of like the Fabios with the hair. Um, they love making these women wear wedding dresses. I don't know why they do it. This is the first time I feel like it's really backfired on them. Nancy says she hasn't worn a wedding dress since she was married, and it made her very emotional. She's also someone who has lost her husband. She said it was one of her favorite days in her life. Usually, that's the case with any bride or groom. Your wedding is one of your staple memories, along with having children.
Is all the
So,
marriage after that or worse, right? It's all downhill
if
from
you, if you get remarried,
no, no, like when you get married, you're at like peak in love, but then once you're married, I'm saying it's all downhill from there, right?
I mean, it's not all downhill. You just have like, oh shit, now it's real life. But it's not all downhill from there. Maybe in some relationships, but not all of them. So Nancy, he does a photo shoot with everyone. Nancy is upset. She says something to him in the photo shoot. He's worried that it's something that he did or they're not connecting. They have a one-on-one conversation. He's like, "Hey, what's going on? Like, I'm worried that like something happened today." She opens up to him and he completely is like, "Yeah, wow, I'm really sorry that you feel that way." They have a good conversation. She ends up getting the group date rose. So like opening up, I think like people have them having conversations like that matters to him. So
I
she
thought
definitely
he
didn't do it on purpose. Like it was obviously something she truly felt because based off her professional, she definitely looked very sad. But I think
we
that's
knew
a what's that?
what happened. We knew what she was why she was crying, but then when
Yeah.
he came up to her, I think he actually came in a little hot, being
Yeah, no,
like,
yeah, I agree. He was a little like,
why is
what's
she
going on?
crying?
And
Yeah.
then he recoiled as he should. And a couple other things that happened. Leslie got her outfit taken by Natasha. She wanted to do 70s and then said she got 80s, so she wore the leather. They love these dates. I'm not always crazy about them. They're kind of ridiculous to me. Leslie tells Gerry that she has hearing aids. He whispers in her ear, and all I thought about when he was doing that was the whisper song by Yin Yang Twins. I don't know if you know that song, Brett. If you know, you know.
I was just
Um,
he didn't whisper anything that erotic, I guess, because she was like, "Oh, I can't tell," but then they didn't even kiss, so it couldn't have been
right.
something too crazy.
Google after this recording, Google the whisper song, and then that's how what I was thinking when he was talking to Leslie. So then she gets, like I said, Nancy gets a group date rose. We don't have another date. He goes to the house. All the women are hiding from him, and apparently it's Gary's birthday, so they're out back. They're grilling. They're having a good time. Um, one of the notable. This was technically the cocktail hour, wasn't it? I think it
I guess.
was.
Yeah, it was
I
the
think
cocktail party, I think.
it was like the cocktail afternoon because apparently the first night they like stayed up like all night and they had to do the cocktail like the rose ceremony in the morning. So they're probably gonna have like a total like shift of like the cocktail parties on the regular series are probably like 11. This one's gonna be at like 3.
Yeah.
They
I
have
don't know if I
no,
said that last week, but that's what I was wondering is if they start filming earlier because they
yeah,
might want
because there was a shot on last week where they showed the window and it was light outside. So they definitely like either rescheduled to the morning or there's no way they made all those people stay up. They would be asleep.
yeah.
So one of the major I wouldn't I guess like one-on-ones or the one-on-one conversations he had, he gives Ellen a framed picture of their photo shoot. She was one of the other women who was wearing a wedding dress, and it was like a really nice picture. And I thought she had a really nice confessional where she's like, "No one's done something this nice for me in a long time, and it meant a lot." Um, I just feel like all of their conversations like this, it's just like I could see him picking her. I could see him picking her. You know, when you watch the main series, like there's no way they're picking that person. So
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see how as the show develops, like where the like what are the connections where it's gonna like break us as a viewer and him.
So I got her mixed up with one of the eliminated people, or at first, I
Yeah,
guess
you get
she's,
mixed her up with Jeannie,
yeah, I was,
probably.
because I was thinking, like, oh, did he just eliminate the picture girl?
Right. I was like, damn, he's keeping her on the rope right now. But yeah, he
But
picks.
I was curious why he gave her a photo and no one else got a photo. That was
Well, I'm
interesting.
wondering if they probably had another conversation that maybe was cut and kind of alludes to why she did that. And that's probably the thing with the 60 minutes. Like we're gonna probably miss some of those moments.
Yeah.
But
It must have been because that's really weird. He just like
yeah,
would
no,
go.
I agree. I was like, man, that's really surprising that he did that for her, but it's got to be. something that we didn't see, I would think. All right, rose ceremony. The following women receive roses. We, like I said earlier, Teresa and Nancy got date roses, so they are safe. So we have Leslie, Joan, Edith, Ellen, Sandra, Susan, Christina, Faith, April, and Kathy. So that means that Natasha, Jeannie, Peggy, and Marina are eliminated. And like I said earlier, Gerry was super sad. And even when he was picking Kathy on the last rose, he was definitely crying. I don't know if you saw that, but he was tearing up when as soon as he said Kathy's name, he almost like didn't want to say the last name because those other four women or the three that were actually there are going to be eliminated, and it made him really sad. So, but I mean, I'm really liking this version a lot more than the main ones because I just feel like everyone's super invested. They're not trying to become a TikTok influencer.
That's fun though. It's fun to watch that.
No, it is. But I think this is nice. It's a nice palate cleanser before you get into Bachelor in Paradise.
After seeing so many seasons of the Bachelor Nation shows, I'm definitely bored a little bit of the final parts where they're all mushy gushy and there's like four people left or whatever. So
Yeah,
this
no,
is like
it definitely
this is
ages.
that part.
Yeah, as the women or men go home, the show, like I've said before, ages like milk. Like it starts to get very bad. Like it's just like drawn out, and that's why I think the hour episodes might be good for even the main series when it gets down to the end because it's just so much filler BS. So that's why I'm interested to see how this show goes. Like if the hour one works, maybe we can save some time in our lives and get the
There's
main
no way.
series to an hour.
There's
They
no
won't
way
go.
they won't go to an hour for the main series. There's no way.
Sucks. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but we can
Maybe
dream.
90 minutes. I don't know.
We can dream. That's
Uh,
gonna be it. That's gonna. Do you have
I
anything
say
else before I
yeah,
break it down?
Faith. Why did Faith didn't get a date? I was wondering why she didn't get one. She was the first impression rose person.
Yeah, she was surprised too, but she made it. She'll be all right.
What's the purpose of that though? Why do they leave one person out of a date of a group date? Is that just supposed to like cause drama? Do they do that in the main series?
Um, yeah, they do.
It just feels weird to like leave one person out of a group date.
I agree. I don't understand it. Like, what's the point if you're already bringing all these people? They do it all the time on the main series. They just didn't draw as much attention to it because I think it was an hour episode. She
Yeah.
made a comment in passing on the confessional, but before I close out, you got anything else?
Nope.
We will be back next week for this and Bachelor in Paradise. So this will either be coming before that or after that. We had Survivor and The Amazing Race Drop. We also have Brett has Big Brother and Buddy Games, and we have some other stuff too. Southern Charm will be out sometime this weekend. But
I have an interview coming up with a very
right, yeah,
special guest from Buddy Games.
there we go.
That will,
I was gonna let it just drop. I wasn't gonna tease it, but Brett is spilling the beans. So look out for that.
so if you're
Brett,
watching
talking
this,
to
go
him.
watch that.
Yeah, for sure. Watch all of our stuff.
Yeah.
Watch all our stuff. Comment on our stuff. Tell us what we do wrong. Tell us what you like. Give us suggestions for shows. I'm always down to watch something different. But until next time, we will see you guys later. Bye.